Okay, everybody, welcome back to another episode. Okay, this episode is going to be talking about the end of times, and this isn't going to be a religious thing, but it does relate to different Bibles. The Bible, different Bibles, the book of Enoch, and a few different things, but mainly the Commonwealth games, what happened. Okay, this stuff makes me sick. The Commonwealth games, this is crazy. Wait until I tell you this. Okay, so it all starts off. Okay, the Commonwealth Games is a big, huge thing that happens, almost as big as the Olympics, but not as big. Okay, for you know, British and all that. Okay, so the Commonwealth Games, and they're trying to get all the Commonwealth to agree to all this, what happened. Okay, so let's get right into this. It's going to be about Prince Charles, about worshiping a giant bull, about the antichrist, and let's get into this. So it all starts with a CGI explosion of the luciferin star. Okay, now remember 71. 71 is a very important number for this video. 71 is the nations. So there was 72 nations and territories, okay, that were holding their flags and were on this, you know, I'm just going to say the platform where everybody is viewing. Everyone's viewing them in the center of this show. Okay, so what happens is it starts off with a lot of CGI where the Luciferian star explodes. Okay, it explodes and all these shards start falling, crystal shards start falling down to the earth. Okay, they start landing in all these different places. Now, 71 of the people, the chosen people, they find these stars, these shards, and they bring them back to their house. These are pieces of the Luciferian star, which is the Lucifer star. Okay, now what happened is when all these shards fell down to the earth, right? The people put these shards in their home, and it made their homes start levitating. So their homes were floating in the air. They floated over seas, forests. They flew basically all from different parts of the earth, over oceans, over forests, over rainforests, over everything, cities, to get to this big, huge show. Okay, so then they get there and they're above the show, hovering above the show, all these houses, right? Then all of a sudden, all the houses come and land down on the ground. 71 of them. As that happens, the people come out holding their individual shard each. They all have one shard, okay? Now, when they come, this big, huge bull's being pulled out with chains, with people that are women dressed up as slaves, like acting as if they're slaves pulling this bull out, this huge idol of a bull. And okay, so then what happens is when they're pulling it out, the 71 nations, all the different flags of the Commonwealth, make a big circle around this thing with their flags, and they're bowing down, worshiping it, right? So and then at that moment, all the chains break loose from this thing. So now they have free will to do as they please. It's free from the chains, and so they all, and then when the female slaves were pulling it out, there was like a guy dressed as a Roman. Didn't really look like a Roman, but they're trying to make it kind of look like it. Okay, so as these chains are free, they all go and hold up their shards. Okay, so when they all hold their shards up, I'm going to tell you the long story short. So then they all go around the beast. So this is the same thing that happened in Babylon, okay, in the Bible. Now, you got to remember, they also put this huge Babylon tower, the Tower of Babylon. They recreated it, and they put it up there on stage, way up, and then so it was higher, and then the bull was looking directly at it. Okay, and all the people were crowded in the crowds, and then the people that had the shards were worshiping the thing around. This is false worship. This is insane. And okay, Prince Charles was there. Okay, the lady comes over, one of the royals comes over, somebody, and gives him, holding up one of these, almost like a like what the Statue of Liberty holds, like, you know, something very like prideful. It wasn't a flag or nothing, but it was like a piece of like long pole with like something special, like, you know. And so he takes the top of it, and out he pulls a little tiny scroll, and she undoes it and passes it to him. This is basically like what happened with the Ten Commandments when Moses went up onto the mountain and God gave him 10 commandments and came down and seen them all worshiping this idol, this bull, this golden calf or whatever it was. And he smashed the 10 commandments, and he couldn't believe it. And I'm not going to get into what happens after that, but Moses goes back up and gets the 10 commandments again, right? Or God gives him the 10 commandments again. Okay? But it really changed things. Now, so what's going on with this thing, the show, is, okay, so above the Babylonian tower is where the all-seeing eye is supposed to form, right? So now, after everything's going on, and they have the 71 flags, and then they have the 71 shards, and they're all around the bull, and they're all worshiping it, okay? As the one woman, she goes to touch it on the nose, and the thing bends down, and so she can touch it, and then she ends up riding it. So she's a woman riding this beast in. Now, it stands up on its hind legs, and as it does that, it shines a bunch of different lights out of his chest to this Babylonian tower, which has the all-seeing eye of Satan, the Luciferian star, where it's going to form. So right as that happens, everyone who has this star, they all worshiping the bull, they all let it go, and the shards of the star starts levitating, and it all goes into the one big Luciferian star above the Tower of Babylon. And everybody's cheering, everybody's praising. They invite the Commonwealth to come and do it with them on TV and all over in the stadiums and stuff, right? They're inviting everybody to come and worship this thing. This is false idling. This is exactly what happened. That we are doing so much stuff. You're recreating something that happened in the Bible that was very, very bad in God's eyes. Okay, we already knew we're coming to the end of times from Revelations, the book in the Bible that talks about the end of times and Jesus Christ coming back and all that, and the antichrist and everything, right? So it's gotten so evil in this world, and everybody wanting to go to space, and UFOs being revealed that aliens are real, and it's just gotten so far from what our parents grew up with and what our grandparents grew up with, okay, that we have gotten so technology advanced that there's no more alone. There's no more safety in having privacy. There's no more privacy. So what I think is going to happen in the near future, guys, and this is serious, trust me on this and believe me on this, I think in the near future, with this Bitcoin currency and all these different Bitcoins currency, we're going to come into a World War III type thing. And all the money, because of the USA and the inflation and how it's not backed by gold anymore, if you want to keep your money, invest it in gold, invest it in some sort of foods like water and stuff like that, because we're coming to the end of time where we're not going to have money, we're not going to have digital money, okay? Everything's going to crash, where the electronics that have everything, right? They keep track of everything, right? The systems are going to fail to the point where nobody knows who had what, which is going to create total chaos. It's going to be total chaos for a little while, and then the Antichrist is going to rise up and somehow create this one global currency that's going to be currency for the entire world. We all have one global currency. There's no yen or American dollars, Canadian dollars, peso. No, this is going to be one currency for everybody on Earth, every single person, okay? And they're going to tell you the only way to use this currency is to swipe like a tap you do at your phone, except they're going to want you to put a chip, a little tiny, like how you got a little tiny incision underneath your skin. They're going to put a microchip, tiny, tiny little small thing, smaller than an SD card, okay? Like 10% of an SD card, okay? They're going to put that between your thumb and your first finger. And that's going to be to swipe for your identity, your ID, your everything in your whole entire life, digital files, your money, how much currency you have, how much credits you have. It might even be called credits for all we know. Okay? And if you're thinking it, looking at it, look at all the stuff Elon Musk is doing for us, right? He's trying to help in a way, but then we don't know who's trying to help because it's like a false deceit. Like they're worshiping false idols, and these false idols are trying to make themselves seem like God. Elon's not doing that, but what I'm saying is there's just so much stuff happening. Elon wants to get off this planet. Like, he's just like, I don't know. There's too much happening at once, and for us to be able to talk about, oh, we're going to be colonizing Mars, we're going to be, living on the moon, it's like, what is going on in this planet in 2024? Okay, there's so much stuff that happened on the moon that I can tell you about that is just so crazy that it would blow your mind. We'll do another video on that another time. But yeah, this is pretty crazy. If the prince is sitting there telling people to do this, basically one of the people in charge of the 71 Commonwealth nations and territories. It's insane. Now the 72nd one that I was going to say, when you heard me say 72, that is Israel. Okay, Israel afterwards, after what happened in the Bible, then Israel came, and it's the 72nd one. Okay, so when all that had happened, it was 71 back then. Then afterwards, now 72. Okay, it's crazy. I know it's a lot to take in. But yeah, this is happening all over the world, and what's going to happen is they can either put that chip in right where I told you, or it can go in your head. Like they're doing that Neuralink that Elon Musk is doing. They're literally already approved something to go on the back of your head and implant into your brain so you can control the computer just by thinking. So you control the mouse by thinking and do everything by just thinking. That is a sci-fi movie. I feel like we're living in the Fifth Element. Go watch that movie. I watched it in the 90s. I never ever thought that we would get to this point. Our grandparents and parents, they don't have a clue what's going on in this world, and these are the people running this country. Okay? They're still stuck in the old ways. Now you have people in charge that do not want it to change, which is the Illuminati and all these Freemasons that formed to this big, huge, nowadays what we have is what we know. Okay? So if we all go and do this global currency, everyone's going to think, oh, he's great. He saved it because how everything collapsed and everything, there was no more money. No one knew what to do. Everyone's just fighting and warring. Well, and when he brings this new global currency, that's the antichrist. It's going to be 7 years after that Jesus and God and everything is going to come and judge. This is all stuff that is religion, mythology, that I was taught in school, but everything we were taught in school about the 9 planets has now been debunked, that there's way more than 9 planets. There's thousands of planets. So, and they're even talking about a genosphere, something geosphere that can go over the sun and generate power. A long time ago, a man, Tesla, found out how to have free power and run vehicles on basically water. They don't want that. They wanted us to stay poor, okay? We have to be the ones to rise up and change this. We're running a simulation. What they want us to do, we're like programmed in school from the time we're young to do what they wanted us to do. Okay? The reason I got so depressed is because when I was 12 years old, I thought that listening to this rap music, listening to all this stuff, I thought these guys were like the coolest, and I thought, you know what, I want to be like these guys. I thought everything they rapped about is the life they lived, and so because I thought that, I went and lived that exact life what they rap about. And you know what? All those years later, it makes me fucking sick to find out that they don't live the life they rap about, for one, and for two, this is the kind of stuff that they're doing. You know what I'm talking about, the P. Diddy stuff in the last video I just made. Go check that out if you want to know what I'm talking about. But it's disgusting. All right? We'll see you in the next.